I'll never forget the day I got the diagnosis. It wasn't subtle. I sat in the sterile, cold office of Dr. Malik, the fluorescent lights buzzing faintly above me, feeling a mixture of anxiety and disbelief. I had come in thinking it was a routine checkup, just a blood test, a scan, maybe a prescription for some minor deficiency. But when the doctor leaned back in his chair, cleared his throat, and said the words, my world shattered in the most surreal way. Shoaib, your results show that your body is becoming more feminine. I blinked. My mind refused to register the words. I'm turning feminine. I stammered. My voice sounded different even to me, higher, softer, a little musical. I could feel my throat tighten as panic fluttered in my chest. Yes, Dr. Malik said, his tone clinical but strangely gentle. Your hormones are shifting. Estrogen levels are elevated. Testosterone is decreasing. You're experiencing feminization. I laughed nervously, the sound alien to my own ears. Is this permanent? He shrugged, almost apologetically. It's progressive. If left unchecked, the changes will become more pronounced over time. Your voice, body structure, and even your facial features could shift noticeably. I felt like the floor had disappeared beneath me. My hands shook as I gripped the edge of the chair. This can't be real, I whispered. Part of me wanted to run, to escape, to pretend it wasn't happening. But another part, a tiny, insidious part, shivered with curiosity. What would it be like to look different? To feel different? To be someone else? The days that followed were unbearable. I tried to live normally, but everything felt distorted. Friends noticed subtle changes before I even did. My voice cracked unexpectedly on a phone call. Someone laughed at a joke I didn't make. My hands, once rough from years of work and sports, felt soft, delicate, almost fragile. At work, whispers followed me down hallways. Shoaib, are you feeling okay? Someone asked hesitantly. I forced a smile, my lips trembling. I'm fine. I lied, though every fiber of my being screamed otherwise. Even family began to notice. My mother casually commented, your skin looks softer lately. I froze, suddenly aware of the sensation of my skin under the thin cotton of my shirt. My father's glance lingered just a second too long, as if silently questioning the changes he had yet to voice. I avoided mirrors, afraid of what I might see. But when I couldn't, when I caught a glimpse in a shop window or a polished surface, panic rose. My reflection looked different. Softer. More delicate. My jawline less pronounced, shoulders narrower. My eyes bigger, somehow. I recoiled, almost gagging at the alien femininity reflected back at me. The first night I was truly alone, I couldn't resist experimenting. I dug through my closet, pulling out softer fabrics, trying things I would never have considered before. A pair of leggings slipped over my legs, hugging curves I hadn't known existed. A soft blouse draped over my shoulders, delicate against my skin. I traced the fabric with my fingers, shivering at the unfamiliar sensation. Then I did the unthinkable. I looked in the full-length mirror. Heart pounding, I gasped. My reflection wasn't just different, it was someone else entirely. My hair, slightly longer from neglect, fell in soft waves around my face. My cheeks were rounder, fuller, warmer. My lips, plump, undeniably feminine. I could feel my breath catch in my throat. Who is that? I whispered, voice trembling. It sounded like a girl, someone soft, delicate, vulnerable, but also beautiful. I shook my head, laughing nervously, spinning in place. The skirt swished around my knees. My body moved differently now, graceful, deliberate, almost instinctively feminine. I couldn't deny it anymore. I was changing. And, somewhere deep down, a part of me thrilled at the thought. Over the next few weeks, I explored this new self in secret. Makeup became my obsession. Blush to warm my cheeks, eyeliner to enhance my eyes, lipstick to make my lips irresistible. Each application felt like discovery, each brush stroke a small rebellion against the boy I had been. I experimented with clothing, heels that made me sway, skirts that accentuated curves I didn't know existed. I whispered affirmations to myself. You're beautiful. You're delicate. You're someone new. My voice cracked with excitement. Every movement, every gesture, every glance in the mirror reinforced a truth I had never dared admit. I was becoming her. The thrill was intoxicating, but so was fear. Every sound in the apartment seemed magnified. Every unexpected knock on the door sent me into a panic. What if someone finds me like this? What if I'm judged? What if I like it too much? The thought both terrified and excited me. I began venturing out in public cautiously. The first outing was a quiet cafe, a simple experiment to test the waters. I wore a soft dress, subtle makeup, hair flowing freely. My pulse raced as I stepped out the door, heels clicking lightly on the pavement. Every glance felt amplified. People stared, or at least, it felt like they did. Then a stranger smiled, a genuine, warm smile. "I love your hair," she said casually. My heart leapt. "Thanks," I whispered, voice soft and melodic, shaking slightly. That small interaction changed something inside me. I realized that the world didn't have to reject me. Maybe, just maybe, someone could accept this new version of me. Encouraged, I ventured further. Parks, boutiques, small social gatherings. Each interaction, each compliment, each smile built my confidence. And yet, fear never fully disappeared. A whispered comment, a glance, a misstep could still send my pulse soaring. But increasingly, I began to embrace the thrill. The real turning point came at a friend's party. Most attendees had known me as the boy I used to be. Anxiety gripped me as I chose a flowing dress, delicate earrings, heels that made my steps deliberate and graceful. My hands trembled as I walked through the door. Whispers fluttered around the room, and for a moment, I froze. But then someone smiled at me, warmly, openly. "You look amazing," she said. Relief washed over me. Conversation flowed, laughter followed. For the first time, I didn't feel like an imposter. I felt alive. I realized that this wasn't just experimentation anymore. This was my reality, my identity, something I could embrace rather than fear. Work became another stage. Colleagues who had questioned me, whispered about me, now treated me with cautious respect. I learned to navigate conversations, office dynamics, and social interactions with confidence. Each day was a practice in owning my presence, my femininity, my new self. Photo shoots with the agency became exercises in empowerment. I could pose, emote, and move naturally, projecting authenticity and grace. The camera didn't just capture images. It captured confidence, power, and a woman fully inhabiting her identity. Family acceptance came slowly but beautifully. My parents noticed, observed, and finally asked questions. Sitting together one evening, I confessed everything: the diagnosis, the fear, the experiments, the thrill, the discovery. "Shoaib, are you happy?" my mother asked softly. "Yes," I said, voice steady. "I've never been happier. I've discovered who I truly am." Tears filled their eyes. My mother smiled, pulling me into an embrace. My father nodded quietly, a rare, approving gesture. Their acceptance was not dramatic. It was calm, warm, and infinitely more powerful than I had imagined. The final realization came in quiet reflection. One night, standing before my bedroom mirror, I studied my reflection. The delicate curves, the flowing hair, the soft voice, the feminine poise I had practiced and now inhabited naturally. I whispered to myself, "I am beautiful. I am strong. I am me." I smiled, truly smiled, for the first time in months. The journey had been terrifying, exhilarating, confusing, and intoxicating. I had faced fear, experimented, risked judgment, and emerged empowered, confident, and unapologetically myself. The diagnosis that had terrified me became the catalyst for self-discovery, courage, and transformation. I wasn't just changing physically, I was becoming someone I had always been, hidden beneath layers of fear, conformity, and doubt. Now, every step I take, every glance in a mirror, every interaction feels deliberate, radiant, and strong. The world can stare, whisper, judge, but I no longer flinch. I have claimed my identity, my femininity, and my life. If anyone asks what I learned, I tell them simply, transformation isn't just about appearance. It's about discovering your true self, embracing it, and having the courage to show it to the world. And when you do, the world opens in ways you never imagined possible. The days after the diagnosis were a blur of fear and disbelief. I tried to go about my normal routine, but everything felt off. Even the simplest things, the way I walked, the way I spoke, the way my body felt, reminded me that nothing was normal anymore. My voice cracked unexpectedly during a phone call, higher and softer than it used to be. I could feel the subtle curves forming in places I had never paid attention to, my chest slightly warmer, my hips almost imperceptibly different. Work became unbearable. I could feel the stares, sense the whispers. Colleagues tried to be polite, but there was curiosity in their eyes, judgment just beneath the surface. "Shoaib, are you okay?" someone asked, hesitation in their voice. I forced a smile, my lips trembling. "Yeah, I'm fine," I lied, even though my stomach twisted in knots. Every glance at a reflective surface, a window, a shiny countertop, made my heart leap. My own reflection looked softer, more delicate, and every time I saw it, a rush of fear and fascination surged through me. At home, I avoided mirrors, but sometimes, late at night, I couldn't resist. I caught glimpses of myself in the hallway or the bathroom and froze. My jawline seemed rounder, my eyes larger, my lips fuller. The changes weren't subtle, they were undeniable. And with every reflection, I felt a mix of panic and strange, guilty curiosity. What if I actually like this? What if this feels right? The first night alone, I started experimenting in secret. I pulled out soft, flowing clothes I had never considered before. A pair of leggings hugged my legs in ways that startled me. A silky blouse draped over my shoulders, delicate and comforting. My hands shook as I touched the fabric, feeling its softness against my skin. Then, hesitantly, I stood in front of the full-length mirror. My reflection made me catch my breath. My hair, slightly longer than usual, fell in gentle waves. My cheeks looked rounder, warmer. My lips were full, undeniably feminine. And my body, my body, moved differently. Gracefully, softly, almost instinctively feminine. I whispered to myself, voice trembling. Who is that? That night, I tried makeup for the first time. Foundation to smooth my skin, blush to warm my cheeks, eyeliner to make my eyes seem larger, lipstick to define my lips. I had never imagined I'd find it thrilling to watch my own reflection transform, but the rush of excitement, mingled with fear, was intoxicating. Each brush stroke revealed a new layer of myself I hadn't known existed. For the first time, I realized something terrifying and exhilarating. I was becoming someone else, someone softer, more delicate, undeniably feminine. And deep down, part of me didn't want to stop. The first real test came when I decided to step outside my apartment fully dressed in the new persona. My hands trembled as I tugged the soft blouse over my shoulders and smoothed my skirt, trying to steady my breathing. The heels clicked on the pavement as I walked toward the nearest cafe, each step a mixture of terror and exhilaration. I could feel eyes lingering, judging, or perhaps just noticing. My heart raced. Do they see me, or as someone else entirely? Inside the cafe, the world felt magnified. Every glance, every whisper, every casual movement of the barista or a passing customer seemed directed at me. My pulse thundered in my ears. I fumbled with my bag, spilling a few papers, and my face flushed bright red. Then, unexpectedly, a woman smiled warmly and said, "I love your outfit, it really suits you." I froze. For a second, the world seemed to hold its breath. Thank you," I whispered, my voice softer than I expected, almost musical. Relief and a strange, thrilling excitement surged through me. Maybe, just maybe, I could exist like this in the world without shame. Encouraged, I ventured further. Small walks in the park, boutique visits, and quiet errands became experiments in self-confidence. I tested my posture, the sway of my hips, the softness of my gestures. Compliments and curious glances fueled a growing realization. I was discovering a version of myself I had never known, a version that felt undeniably right. Weekends became stages for exploration. A friend's birthday party was my next challenge. Anxiety gripped me as I picked out a flowing dress, delicate earrings, and practiced walking in heels until I could do it without wobbling. The party was crowded with people who had known me before the changes. Every step into the room felt like stepping onto a tightrope. Whispers floated in my ears, and I wanted to retreat. But then someone smiled, a genuine, unjudging smile. "You look amazing," she said. My chest swelled, and for the first time, I felt a spark of pride rather than fear. I laughed, a soft, melodic sound, and joined the conversations, slowly shedding the old layers of hesitation and self-consciousness. That night, I realized I wasn't just experimenting anymore. I was embracing something real, something true. Back at work, the subtle changes became impossible to hide. Colleagues whispered, glanced, sometimes even joked, but I no longer recoiled. I had begun to move, speak, and interact with a confidence that surprised even me. I realized that the feminine presence I was discovering wasn't just physical, it was a part of my personality, my energy, my way of being in the world. Photo shoots with the agency transformed from terrifying obligations to exhilarating exercises in self-expression. Each pose, each smile, each glance in the camera reflected not only a feminine exterior but a newfound internal strength. I moved with grace I had never known, each photograph capturing confidence, authenticity, and power. The more I experimented publicly, the more I felt a shift internally. Fear was still there, it would never fully vanish, but it was balanced now by a deep excitement, a profound joy in discovering the person I was becoming. I wasn't hiding anymore. I was stepping into the world fully, embracing each reaction, each glance, each whisper as part of my journey. The real test of my transformation didn't come from strangers or casual encounters, it came from those who had known me the longest. My family. One evening, my parents gently approached me, concern etched into their faces. "Shoaib, we've noticed changes," my mother said softly. "Are you happy?" I froze. The question hit me harder than any judgmental glance on the street or whispered comment at work. I had been running from fear, from shame, from uncertainty, but here it was, laid bare. My heart pounded. I looked into their eyes and realized I didn't want to hide anymore. "Yes," I said, voice firm yet trembling slightly. "I've never been happier. I've discovered myself." Tears welled in my mother's eyes. She reached out, holding my hands gently. My father nodded quietly, his approval unspoken but deeply felt. Their acceptance, warm and unwavering, unlocked something in me I had never dared hope for: freedom. The next challenge was public, a fashion showcase organized by the agency. The room was packed with people, many of whom knew me before the changes. Anxiety gripped me as I prepared backstage, the soft fabric of my dress brushing against my skin, heels clicking softly as I practiced walking. I repeated affirmations under my breath. I am strong. I am beautiful. I am me. When my turn came, the lights blinded me for a moment, and the audience blurred into a sea of faces. My pulse raced. But as the music started, I moved instinctively, hips swaying, shoulders relaxed, a confident smile on my lips. Every glance, every whisper, every murmur of surprise only strengthened my presence. For the first time, I realized the truth I had been hiding even from myself. This was not about hiding or pretending. It was about being fully, unapologetically me. Every step down the runway was a declaration. Every pose, every expression, every glance at the photographers and audience was a testament to my courage. Applause erupted as I reached the end. My chest swelled with pride, my cheeks flushed with triumph. I had faced fear, uncertainty, judgment, and exposure, and I had not just survived. I had thrived. The days that followed were surreal in their calm empowerment. Friends and colleagues adjusted, acceptance gradually replacing curiosity or judgment. I continued modeling, each photo shoot a celebration of identity and self-expression. Weekends became playgrounds for experimentation, style, and self-discovery. I walked through streets with confidence, smiled freely, and reveled in the freedom of being fully myself. At home, my family supported me in every way, from choosing outfits to offering compliments, celebrating the journey I had undertaken. Their quiet, unwavering support became the anchor I had needed. One quiet night, I stood before my bedroom mirror, soft lamplight illuminating my reflection. I traced the curves of my face, the delicate line of my jaw, the warmth in my cheeks. My hair fell in soft waves around my shoulders, my lips full and radiant. I whispered softly, "I am me, beautiful, confident, whole." No fear, no shame, no hesitation lingered. The journey that had started with a terrifying diagnosis had led me to something far more profound: authenticity, courage, and self-acceptance. I had discovered that true transformation isn't just about the body, it's about embracing your essence, stepping into your power, and facing the world unapologetically. The Sissy diagnosis that had once terrified me became the catalyst for liberation. I had learned to navigate fear, explore curiosity, and embrace my femininity fully. And in doing so, I realized that transformation is not a threat, it is a gift. A gift that, once claimed, allows you to walk through life with confidence, pride, and joy. Now, each step I take, each interaction, each glance in a mirror is a celebration of self-discovery. I am no longer just Shoaib, unsure and frightened. I am a woman, radiant and empowered, fully inhabiting my identity and my life. If I could offer one truth to anyone facing a similar journey, it would be this: transformation is not only physical, it is the discovery of your soul, the embrace of your authentic self, and the courage to shine. And when you do, the world opens up in ways you never imagined possible.